Note to self, grease locks. Huh. Right, morning. So it's 2025. New year, new me. Fuck all that bullshit. I'm still the same cunt. So it's been a couple of years since the Peugeot 306 estate project, and we need to get on with it. So let's go. Right, now a few of you eagle-eyed bunch might know this. I'm in a Land Rover. No, I haven't defected, but if you know me, you know I love anything with a good old Bosch VE 200 TDI. So you might be wondering, where the fuck have I been? Why the fuck isn't the estate done? Last time we saw it, it was nearly a complete forged engine. Unfortunately, life happens. There's times you have to move on. There's times you got no fucking money. And there's times you need that engine for other shit, as I found out. So, some of you may be asking right now, what the fuck happened to that engine? Well, when building it up, I had pleaded ignorant to some piss poor machining work on the deck surface. And well, that come back to bite me on the arse. After putting the cylinder head on, taking some figures and everything from it. The engine itself was all in tolerance, but that deck work, the machine and finish was fucking terrible. There was no way the head gasket other than a composite was ever going to seal on it. And I lied to myself and said, nah, that'll be alright. I fuck with it. So yeah, back to the engine. It had to be dismantled and rebuilt into another deck. Now, the estate, still in pieces in the unit. Yes, unit, we're no longer working on council streets anymore. We're going upmarket. But so back to the story of the engine. Where is she? Currently in a phase 1 306 sedan. My phase 1 306 sedan. Yeah, I deterred from the estate, got distracted by a sedan, blew the engine up in that fucker, and ended up having to put it in that. So now, that's in the sedan, GT20, 10mm pump, all the good stuff. And yeah, she goes fucking well. However, I do like a good distraction in between. Those sheep weren't there last week. Hello sheep! Ah! Fucking sheep in that field. But yeah, so back to the story of the estate. So, after life happened, or during life happening, had a little bit of a mental phase. Decided to drive it like a cunt, lifted the cylinder head, blew her up. So she's been rammed in the back of my unit ever since. Now, it's only just recently I've got back on my feet, got money again, got sorted. So, we've got round 2. We've got a load of forged parts sit here. In the back, we've got Xara VTS racks, a fuck ton of pipe work for making manifolds and stuff. And in the unit, a fucking big B&T. So, the only way I can see of doing the estate justice is take 2, V for victory, yeah? And we're going large. GT20, I'm yet to dyno it, still on running in power, but it's nice to see, but I can actually build an engine that works. It's got a couple of 1,000 miles on it now, and we need to start jacking her up. But I feel the only way to do this right is to outdo the sedan, excuse my voice breaking, and go big or go fucking home. So yeah, we'll get this shit to the unit, start decanting it, we'll have a look at the state I left the estate in, we'll have a look at these new parts, and we'll make a fucking game plan. So yeah, like I said at the start, Right, so you patiently listen to my waffle, and yeah, so here she is. Been sat for a couple of years. As you can see, what was pretty mint paintwork has gone to shit. Yeah. And should become a shed. So let's pop the bonnet and have a little look. Right, so where do we start? This is actually a bit devastating to look at now. So last time it was on the road, I obviously lifted the cylinder head and lost the love with it. Parked it up with a fuck ton of winter salt on it, so of course we have got the starts of rust coming in fucking everywhere. Now you may notice missing things like the headlights, obviously the turbo and everything, the 2.5 inch stainless exhaust system. So this ended up being used to mock the GT20 setup, nicked the exhaust system for obviously the sedan and the headlights. Everything brake and suspension wise actually remains on the estate though, so we've got the Baker BM spherical top mounts there, Spax R6 hidden in the back, even though they have seized. She still has her R33 Nissan Skyline calipers with 304mm discs. We still have that Piggy Power brake conversion in the back, which runs the 266mm front venters. Xara VTS axle hidden under there, a phase 1 with the thicker anti-roll bar, and some Baker BM solid axle mounts. And of course all the front end was polybushed as well. So yeah, pretty much everything what's on it is going to end up having to come back off, being replaced, refurbished, rebuilt, and basically we've got to start scratch. Right, so engine wise I've got the choice of two to rebuild. I've got the one which is obviously in the estate with the lifted cylinder head, and I also have the one with the blown head gasket which come from the sedan. Right, so unfortunately today's video we're not actually getting to tear anything down. It's more about looking at what parts I've got, what I still need to get. Yeah, just having a fucking good sort out, and of course tidying all this shit up, because this is no environment to build an engine in. So give me 5 and I'll be back with you. Right, well we're finally there. Finally got tidy workbenches again and somewhere actually worthy of building an engine. So right, where do we start? Let's have a look at some of these bits. Right, so let's start with the boring stuff. Bearing selection. So we've got big end, mains, thrust, all in standard size, because I have no intention on machining anything in those engines. If it's not within tolerance, I'll fuck it off until I find something within tolerance. Same goes for the rings. Again, I've got 2 engines to choose from, so something's got to have decent bores in it, and I don't wish to go oversized pistons. So these are Gotes rings, been through miles in the past, as if you look through the old videos, and you'll know these are now the only brand I trust for piston rings. Next, just a standard engine rebuild gasket kit, so nothing special. O-ring, that's my brand of choice. Of course, this doesn't come with a head gasket, so then we've got the Victor Vane's head gasket. Personally, I always go for the thickest one available. That's the part number for people. Yeah, that's always worked for me. So this is multi-layer steel. When these left the factory, a lot of them had composite head gaskets. Not sure if the later ones ever upgraded to multi-layer steel, but if you are planning on holding big boost, increased cylinder pressures, then multi-layer steel combined with ARPs is the way to go. Now, a lot of people these days are struggling to find ARPs for the XUD. There's no big secret. They're easy to fucking find. They are Renault F4R. So there you go, secret's out. That's all you need. Moving on to more exciting things, conrods. I've got 2 sets of forged here, so I can choose from either, but both do very different things. These ones, if anyone is familiar with Darren Lobb and his channel, they're actually out of his old 2.2 HDI. These are shorter for decompression, as you'll hear him talk about in some of his videos where he's tearing it down. These originally I was planning to use for a compound build, but I just can't be asked for that. So we'll discuss the turbo choice later and why I've changed my mind.
we're still keeping these, we're shelving them. So, but the scope was, I think, after talking to Darren, basically his engine used to run about 80 psi. So yeah, there's a lot more to address with an XUD before we even try to push 80 psi. Right, so just to add on to that last bit, the 80 psi monster these came out of was Darren's old XUD. So if anyone remembers that, that was the supercharged, turboed, I think twin turboed at some point, compound, absolute fucking monster. So that thing was an animal. He later on moved these into his 2.2 HDI, which if you watch his videos, you'll see he's just recently tore these out. And yeah, so I've decided not to go that route, mainly because I don't want the cold start issues, the idling issues, which inherently come with decompressing as much as what these con rods will do. Right, and that brings me on to these rods. So these are based off HDI design, so we've got the improved sputter bearing. They're the same length obviously as XUD HDI, so no decompression or anything there either. So again, H-beam, they are 200 grams each heavier than Darren's rods, which is a bit of a shame, mainly because of like all the extra meat and stuff and obviously the length difference, but these are the way to go for me. So I've already got a set of these in my 1.9 XUD sedan, which have proven themselves. I mean, I'm not pushing them to the max. If anyone's familiar with Adrian Maduta, he's got a hill climb 306 which he used to race. He had a set of these, exactly the same design, same brand as these, in his 1.9 XUD, and then he later on moved on to common rail with a 2 litre HDI, again with these same rods, proving the design. Right, and then you've got my clutch of choice. So this is nothing too special. This is literally just a luck unit which has been modified into a paddle clutch. This was done by Precision Clutches and the job is absolutely spot on. Again, I've already got one of these in my sedan and it's holding up really well. I am expecting with this build to either blow this sky high or end up with it slipping or something along those lines. So it's not this guy's fault, it's just Peugeot in general. The diameter choice, clutch design, shit like that, it's fucking terrible. So I'm either going to end up doing a gearbox or I'll shred the fucking clutch to ribbons. My old 2 litre HDI estate, if anyone's familiar with that, that used to eat clutches and gearboxes for fun, and that was pushing just over 200 brake horsepower. This is one of the clutches from it. I used to have the full range. I went through about 4 of these and I had them as trophies because I thought it was fucking hilarious back in the day. But yeah, as you can see, they just explode. So this was a CG Autosport one. I've gone through the likes of Lark Speed, what was the other brand, Helix Autosport. Fucking Helix Autosport was the last one I had. It shredded the splines. Yeah, enough ranting about clutches. We're not expecting miracles from this. We know we're going to have to feed the power in. I'm going to be delivering through it, so we'll just have to see if this contends. I have got one of these in the sedan already and it's doing beautifully in that, but obviously that's not going to be anywhere near the same power levels. Right, now I'm not going to lie, this next bit gets me a little bit hard. This is the bit I'm most excited for with the project. So this is my turbo of choice. This is a GTB 2260 VKLR. So this is off Sam Barker's old build. If anyone's familiar with that, again, it's on Darren Lobb's channel. He's just ditched all his old HDI setup and gone over to a K20 in his Cabriolet. Enough of that. So this was modified for a positive boost actuator. I'm not going to go down that route. I want a vacuum actuator on it because of the style of VNT controller I'm going to be using. So this, I'll probably end up replacing this turbo. Still going to be the same one, but with vacuum actuator instead, and then this might get repurposed on the Land Rover. But anyway, so moving on. As you can see, manifold flanges. SCH10 stainless steel pipe, and yeah, we've got fucking bucket loads of them. So the bit I'm excited for with this, I'm gonna be attempting to make my own 4:1 turbo manifold, relocating it over the top of the gearbox, yeah, so my TIG welding skills have got a hell of a lot better over the recent years. Quite excited to try this, as yeah, another thing to tick off the bucket list. I know these are nicknamed welders' nightmares, but fuck it, I'm gonna have a go at it. So as you can see, that's stock fitting. Shit, trying to do this while on camera. This is one I've already had a fiddle with in a press, and just I wanted to see if I could roughly get the shape of the ports in this pipework, which yeah, I can, piece of piss. So yeah, it's going to be interesting doing that, and yeah, we'll try and do a whole episode on that. Right, now I'm sure some of you have seen this lurking in the background of this video so far. So this is my original 11mm Bosch VE pump I first built up for the very original forged engine. It never got to see, well, it's never ran, so I'm going to end up tearing this back apart. I just want to check it over. I do actually want to change the casings on this, because this is from a later model pump which has the external cold start with a pipe. I did blank all that off, but since then I've got dozens and dozens of fucking pumps kicking around, so I do the rebuilds for people on a budget, make it affordable, because of all the big companies these days who are just outpricing this old school tech. To me, this shit's still amazing. So, and yeah, so when I say I got dozens of pumps, I'm literally not taking the piss. I've got these fucking spares coming out of my ears and everything. Got quite into rebuilding these, so I do them for like VW, Peugeot, Land Rover, even Ford trannies and stuff like that. So yeah, I just did this, made it affordable for people, and yeah, I quite enjoy doing it. So it allowed me to put the money back into my own project, so it was almost like self-funding. But yeah, and then because of that, I've been able to, like, I picked up this pump recently. It's knackered, but hopefully the casing is usable. This is non-external cold start model, so it's all properly blanked off there, and then this casing should hopefully go into that pump over there. Ooh, there. Right, so we're pretty much coming up to the end of this now. Big old box of pipe work, all like 3-inch fittings and stuff like that, pie cuts. The rest of my SCH10, all the straight and everything. This is literally just so, well, two things: 3-inch exhaust system for her, and then a 3-inch exhaust system for her, which I might actually end up doing a little series on the Land Rover, because there's big plans for that. Just to finish up on this video then, the last two things. Obviously I've got the cylinder head. This went onto the old forged engine. This is already pre-skimmed and everything like that. The only thing I want to do is just check it for flatness again, because this has obviously been torqued down, but it's never been through a heat cycle, so there's no reason why it shouldn't be straight. Yeah, obviously this has already been rebuilt, shimmed, everything like that. I do want to check the clearance tolerances and everything, because this was rebuilt by the company who fucked the deck up. So I'm a little bit, do I actually trust what they said they did? So we will just check tolerances there on the shims and buckets. Obviously she had the Piper adjustable cam on her, though to be honest, not really sure why I need an adjustable cam on it, to be honest. And to finish off, Exalva VTS rack. It's a dirty steering rack. There's nothing really exciting to show on this. So this is a phase 2. This is the 2.6 turn model. Does mean it's the pain in the arse one, which has the push fit fittings, as you can just see there. Now what a lot of people don't realise is the 307, some of the 206s and everything also used push fit racks, so you can steal the fittings off that. Or, as I've been informed by GTI 6 God, I think he goes under the name Hovis, you can actually tap these out as well. Now, anyone with a keen eye will notice, well, you don't even need a fucking keen eye, do you? That's fucked. And we're missing ram pipes, so of course I'm going to have to refurbish this as well. Might turn that into its own separate video. So yeah, that is everything today. So I do wish we could have actually got on to doing something practical rather than unboxing, fucking showing you shit. But yeah, that'll be in later on videos. We'll actually start tearing shit down and getting back on it. So, I mean, give me your suggestions in the comments and stuff. Any tips, improvements for like video styling. I mean, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing here, to be honest, but I just thought, fuck it, I've already done this shit once. I built the sedan, I proved I can do an engine, I want to do it again, and I want to revive this old gal. So yeah, cheers for watching, guys. Drop your comments and likes, and yeah, thanks.